Welcome to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez. Today we're going to talk about cancer, but we have a very special group of guys and girls here that did a fundraiser for a young lady that has ovarian cancer. And so without further ado, I want to introduce them. We have our leader of the pack, Sambo. Thank you, Sambo, for joining us.
Pleasure to be here, sir.
Yeah, and Sambo is a regular on this show, by the way. And then we have Mr. Mark Ramirez representing the Natural Born Cookers. Thank you for coming out. And Albert Cortez with Tejano Heat Cookers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, where did you get that name from? We'll get back to that. And we have Araceli Zapata.
Yes.
Thank you. And you're also with Natural Born Smokers.
Yes, sir.
And then the Chris Reina.
Chris Reina, yes, sir.
The ultimate Chris Reina from the Ghetto Smoke Cookers, right?
Ghetto Smoke.
Okay, well, appreciate y'all coming out.
No problem.
So let's get right to it. They had a fundraiser for a young lady that has cancer, and they did the fundraiser on February 21st. And this is rodeo season, so there's a lot of cook-offs and so forth. But they had a cause, and the cause was to raise money for a young lady that is currently going through treatment. Now, I will tell you that was a noble cause on your part, Sambo, for even thinking about putting this together because, as you know, it takes a lot of work to do any kind of fundraiser for this magnitude anyway.
Definitely.
And so your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Our staff actually was keeping up with your Facebook post and so forth. And so we are well aware of the success of the event. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the first place?
First of all, I met my tax preparer. Went in to do my taxes and
You pay taxes?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that right now. But I went in and talked to the mother, and she's a friend of mine, and she told me that her daughter had cancer. You know, they found out in December, and you know, since I've been involved with the cooking teams, I know that the cooking teams always step up to the plate when there's something, you know, that's going bad in the community and people need help. So first of all, I said, how's the fundraising going? Because I know there's additional costs with medical expenses, traveling, staying, and all that. So I said, he said, you know, we're trying to raise a little money right now. I said, well, I got a group of some good-hearted people, you know, and I'm pretty sure if I tell them, you know, that we're going to do a benefit, I can get some people to go out there and help us out. So that's exactly what happened. I put it on the internet that we're having a fundraiser, called it Jessica's Fight, in honor of Jessica, you know, and several teams stepped up to the plate, and you know, everybody came out and helped. It was a successful event, and you know, it couldn't have been done without these guys' hard work. Some of them worked around the clock. They were there at 5 o'clock in the morning getting set up, you know.
Well, Chris was just saying that he worked many hours. I mean, it takes a lot of pre-planning, obviously.
Yeah.
There's work behind the scenes that nobody sees, so I understand. Now, how did you get involved?
Well, I was able to get my friends out there, go donate plates, raffle tickets. We had a little event going on, but we were able to still participate, get plates going out there, pass out the word, and everybody came back and, hey, we got a plate, we got a bunch of plates, we got, you know, raffle tickets. So passing out the word is what gets to the community.
So with the Natural Born Cookers, how long have you all been in existence?
Well, I just started this year with my team.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 25 years.
Okay, so this is a brand new group.
Yeah, but we're always participating in fundraisers, benefits, everything we can for the benefit of people.
Okay, great, awesome. How about yourself? How did you get involved?
Well, Sam actually called me up and told me that it was that he had something going on, and I told him, well, yeah, I mean, of course, would love to be a part of it. You know, anything we can do to help out the community, and especially a good cause like that, you know, we're definitely going to be there. We weren't as far as involved in the cooking part of it, but I did pass the word. I got a bunch of my team members to come out and buy plates, and I made some donations. You know, I bought some at the auction, and
so the Tejano Heat Cookers, how long have they been in existence?
About 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I've been
pretty
cooking,
big group?
Not too big right now. We keep it kind of small. It's more family oriented. A bunch of couples and stuff like that.
Oh, like for quinceañeras, you're ready to cook, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. We cater all different events. So.
Okay, great. And how about yourself? How did you get involved?
Well, with this particular one, I wasn't able to actually be there, but the same as Mark, we passed on the word and we let our friends know about it. I was at another benefit actually, and I wasn't able to make that one. But at any given time when we're able to participate in things like this, we do. We like to come out and help the community, and especially for, for cancer fighting and all that. We're big on helping and passing the word along.
And Araceli, how long have you been involved in a cooking team?
Well, I'm brand new to it. I started with something else, and then I met Mark because I love to cook, and I wanted the opportunity to start, with a team. And Mark gave me that opportunity, and I can't wait to get more involved with it because I see that these guys are very kind-hearted, and anytime something goes on with the community, they just step up, and I just think it's wonderful, and I like to be part of that too.
And Chris, how about yourself? How long have you been doing this?
Been barbecuing for about 10 years.
Okay.
Started the team about 5-6 months ago.
Okay. And
Sam
so you're
posted on Facebook about Jessica's fight, so I went ahead and took it upon myself to go ahead and donate to cook as much chicken as needed to be cooked. Cooking team was stopping up by my house, dropping off chicken, and for all Friday, just that's what you're talking about, all Friday, dropping off chicken. I prepped it, I started cooking Friday night, hooked up my barbecue pit, went over there to Old Galveston Road, and I was cooking on the road. It was still smoking on the road.
So you got one of those little barbecue pits?
Yeah, a little smoky.
How big is your pit?
I think it's about a 12-foot trailer.
Okay, that's pretty big. So you got to have a trailer, obviously, to take care
Yeah,
of
yes, sir, exactly.
Chris did close to 400 pounds of chicken.
it. I don't even know what that means. Tell me how many plates was that?
I'll tell you this much. It was a lot of plates. In the first 2 hours, we had already sold over 500 plates in 2 hours.
Okay.
And that's what we're talking about, the support we get from these cooking teams here. We got guys that were there cooking. We got people that couldn't be there physically, but on the internet, they were pushing it and pushing it and pushing the cause, And that's how it became such a successful event. It's by everybody taking that incentive and just doing their part, whether it was promoting the event, whether it was cooking, serving plates, cutting up meat. It took a lot of different people to all come together and make a difference that day.
I'm just curious because you just started a group. You recently all started. So all these new groups popping up. How many groups did you actually have involved in this?
About 30 cooking teams total.
That many?
Yeah.
That's a lot of groups.
Yeah, and we also had people that came out and did sound. We had a tent company that came out and furnished a tent. Porta can company furnished porta cans.
Yeah, where did you have this event?
On Old Galveston Road.
Okay.
And actually, we'll be having a cook-off there in March 20th and 21st also.
Where in Old Galveston Road?
It's on 2626 Old Galveston Road.
What's the cross street, more or less?
It's right where 610 overpasses over Galveston. It's in between Milby and Chavez High School.
Okay. So obviously there's a lot of traffic, high volume. So
well, not really. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bring more of a festive look to that side of town. There's not really too much going on, but there is a lot of cooking teams that are from the immediate area. So what we're trying to do, instead of them having to go so far out to do a cook-off, is bring something a little bit closer.
Well, let me tell the audience a little bit about Sambo. Sambo actually started a cook-off in Alameda Mall because apparently there was some issues in Pasadena with the rodeo. So Sambo took it upon himself with some other folks, of course, and started their own cook-off, separate from Pasadena.
Yes.
And Sambo did a very, very successful event twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
2 years in a row. And thousands of people. I don't know how many people were there at your events. How many people walked through those?
I think at one point we had 20,000 people out there.
Okay. So few people.
The Congress lady was out there that day.
Yeah, there was a lot of people, and I saw it firsthand. And I tell you what, I was very impressed because here you are, you're the Lone Ranger, so to speak, if you don't mind me calling you that. The Lone Ranger leaving the Pasadena group. Obviously, Pasadena is well established, a lot of funding, they got a lot of sponsors, a lot of teams. And for you to pull away, start your own deal, it takes guts for one, because you never know who's going to follow, right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it'd be bad if you look behind you and there's no one behind you, right? But obviously, you had a big following.
Yes.
So you took it upon yourself, and you made it happen the first year, and then the second year. And now you're talking about doing a third event at Gulfgate Mall. Is that still the case?
Well, I've actually done 3 already.
Okay, you've done 3 at Amita?
I did the Pasadena one
Okay.
last year,
Okay.
which was real successful too.
Okay.
And then I got a couple of things I'm working on this year. Yes, we will do Alameda this year for the big techs.
Okay.
And then I've also just signed Minute Maid Park.
Wow.
So we'll be
So you're going
stepping up.
small scale.
Yeah, you know.
Minute Maid Park, huh? No, that's great. You know, I love to hear stories like that, you know, because our raza needs to move up. I mean, obviously the rodeo is not doing it for us here in Houston. Houston Rodeo, that's a total different discussion. We can talk about Go Tejano Day, but I'll leave that for another day. But there needs to be something for our community to go to during rodeo season. And obviously, NRG Stadium is not it for our community.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I'd like to see some real Tejano music performed at your events. And obviously, it always is.
Yes.
But I would like to see Vicente come out to one of your events.
I'd love to see that too.
Vicente or... and it doesn't have to be old school. I mean, we can have some new blood as well.
Well, we've
you know?
had
Some new
Signal.
blood.
I've rung Signal, La Mafia. I've rung La Sombra, Little Joe, Ramon Ayala.
You probably haven't heard me sing yet.
So you're next. You're next. I got you on the list. You know,
I can audition right now if you want me to.
We'll do that later. You know, one of the reasons why this all started out, Ben, was that I noticed that Pasadena. You know, I had been to the Strawberry Festival and been to Pasadena Rodeo several years, and one of the things I noticed was that about 70% of the people that were there were Latinos, but there was no catering towards the Latinos. So I just felt that there was a certain element that was missing there. Like, you know,
Does that surprise you though?
it really doesn't.
No.
You know,
I mean,
And
you look at the demographics over there. It doesn't surprise me. And again, that's a total different discussion that we can go into, where we have the folks that are running the city that don't look like us, and yet you have the majority of folks that are Hispanic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so those are the decision makers. And if they don't like you in your city, or their city, I should say, then guess what? They're going to make it very difficult for you.
Yes, sir.
And even to rent the fairgrounds or to rent any type of facility, they will strong arm you, as you know. And it's unfortunate that it is that way, but it is. You know, we got to remember that the KKK used to have a headquarters over there in Pasadena.
Yes, sir.
The KKK is very much alive, but undercover. Okay, very much alive.
Yes, sir.
And there's folks that do not want us in their city.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Definitely.
They do not want us to have a major event in their city.
Well, like I told them time and time before, you see Montgomery Wards is the Pulga now. You see Sonic is called La Playita. Otherwise, change is inevitable. Change is always going to happen. And with the amount of Latinos, it's just a matter of time till we get to that position to where we can have our own cook-off, where we can have our own sanctioning committees, because we're already starting to have our own teams now.
I'll be a judge.
And I got you. I got your spot saved.
That's good. So let's talk to you over here about the effects that this event had. I mean, we give our time all the time, all right?
Yes.
But when you see an individual like this young lady, I believe she's 12 years old, 13 years old, that has cancer. So you put a face with this fundraiser. That creates a different dynamic, if you will. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's, I see that could have been my daughter. That could have been my sister. That could have been, you know, the way I see it, everybody needs help sometimes. If it was me, I would want people to come out and help, you know, help support. It breaks my heart that I see a little girl have to go through that. Even if it was an older person, doesn't matter. For a person alone to have to go through something like that. So, I mean, I figure that's the most I can do for her, is to help out, you know, cook, maybe put a smile on her face, you know, anything like that.
So obviously you got to see her and her family, and you all interacted. So it's great to see that we're all helping each other. The bottom line is we can't do it alone sometimes. Sometimes we need help, need that helping hand. Araceli, you said you were not there in person the day of the event, but you were behind the scenes helping out. So how did you feel about this?
Well, we see it a lot in the community, because if anybody needs medical help, or they need money to cover some medical cost, or a loved one passed away and they don't have the funds to do it, then that's when we step up and do what we can. I was at another benefit for a young man that is needing a heart transplant, and they held a very big fundraiser for him at the American Legion. And I was there supporting them. I brought some people out.
Magnolia, American Legion?
Yes.
Okay.
And for them, there was a lot of cookers there, and they did over 900 hamburgers and fries, and I was there to support that cause. But I also donate, like, what I do is michelada mix.
Uh-oh.
So the michelada ready mix is present.
And for those that don't know what that means, so tell our viewers what that means.
Okay, michelada mix is it's a mix that I came up with. It's very easy. You just open and pour, and people are liking it because it's so
But
convenient.
tell them what you pour it into.
You pour it into the beer.
Okay. All right.
It's for
All
beer.
right.
It's a sauce for beer, and it makes your beer like super yummy.
Kind of like a Bloody Mary, but with
Yeah,
beer.
with beer, and people are loving that. And a lot of my customers are the cookers, and that's how I started. I started selling my michelada mix to the cook-offs whenever they had a cook-off, and I was there. That's how I started seeing what they were about, and that's when I started getting interested because I like what they do, and I started becoming involved with the fundraisers and all that kind of stuff. So what I do is I come out with my big old basket of stuff so they can raffle it off or, auction it or whatever. I just try to do what I can. And on my Facebook page, social media is big. So once I put a post out there of what's going on, people respond and people inbox me, hey, where's this going on? We'd like to come out and support. And I feel like I can, even if I'm not there in person, I still feel like the people that support me and my business will also support the causes that we're trying to put out there. And we had great response.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And Albert, putting a face to this fundraiser, what did it do to you?
Like you said, it kind of got me, hit me right in the heart. It could have been somebody I knew or even one of my kids, and I would hope that everybody would step up the way they did for her, and it was really just seeing it. It was just overwhelming, the response that she got.
And Mark, how many people showed up, in your opinion, to volunteer?
To volunteer, I figure about 100 on my part.
Okay, that's pretty significant. Yeah, that's a lot.
I
of
would
folks.
see all the posts he was putting, and I was like, there's a friend of mine, there's a friend of mine. So they were all there to support, so I knew a lot of people that were there for passing out the word and, being supportive, because it's a motivational thing.
Sure.
It really cranks you up and gets you high motivated because, like you said, it's a loved one. I've had a bunch of loved ones that passed, and we have to help them, and it's just not them, but, the other community as well, that can't, get to where they need to be, and that's why it's been great for me to help, when I can.
That's great. So Sambo, you're always putting your hand into something. I mean, and obviously the things that you have done have been successful. So I know you talked about going to the stadium, the baseball stadium.
Yes, sir.
But I see bigger and better things. I see you making some huge events. Okay. Now you always have to start somewhere, and you lose money the first couple times. In some cases, I'm not saying you did. In some cases,
I did.
Okay, so you lose money, but it gets you motivated because you know what to do and you learn from your mistakes, right?
Exactly.
So as you move up the ladder, your events get bigger, and you learn how to promote. You learn how to save money. You learn how to do this. You learn how to do that. You learn how to bring people together. So with all that experience, I see you bringing the big boys to town. And when I say the big boys, I'm talking about the international artists, the Manas of the world, okay?
Yes.
The Juan Gabriels of the world. So I would hope in the next 5 to 10 years that I will see you doing that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you will. I think this is just the beginning. Not only did we bring the cook-off to Pasadena, but we also brought a cook-off that brought all types of people to Pasadena. It was the first time we had black cooking teams show up. It was the first time we had that many Latino cooking teams, white cooking teams, all cooking together. Not only that, it was a state championship. It just wasn't a cook-off. So we accomplished a lot in that first cook-off right there in Pasadena, and I did learn a lot. And now I'm going back to the board, analyzing everything, and just finding out how we can make it a better, more successful cook-off. We got a lot of years to come. and we got a lot of people that are supporting us, and we support a lot of people. That's the main thing is being that bridge between the man behind the desk and the community. You know, you got a lot of people that sit behind a desk, a lot of these corporations, but they don't know how to tap into the Latino community. So us being a cook-off, we draw so many people from the Latino community that we're that bridge for several corporations, several, large corporations that really want to tap into the Latino market.
Sambo, you know better than I do that sometimes you have to have those political connections to make things happen. To
Yes.
someone that you can call and say, you know what, I have this problem and I can't get it resolved without some help, right?
Yes, yes.
So I am happy to say that the elected officials have supported you.
Yes, sir, they have.
Yeah, and they have been behind your efforts. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee, for instance.
Yes.
Adrian Garcia.
Yes,
Victor Trevino when he was the constable.
yes,
And I've seen them firsthand helping you. So
yes,
I think that's a great motivation for our community. They do work that people don't know they do.
exactly.
They pick up the phone for you and make those things happen that wouldn't happen otherwise.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I want to give hats off to those folks that have helped Sambo
Definitely.
and his efforts along with all the cookers. Now, before we leave, I'm going to ask anybody that wants to call in. There's a phone number on the bottom of your screen if you would like to participate in this discussion. And you don't have to call it now. You can call in the next segment when we have the young lady that has cancer. Feel free to call in live television, ladies and gentlemen. So we're in Houston's East End, by the way, in case you don't know where the Houston Media Source is, just east of downtown, right off of Harrisburg. Now, I will tell you, we have some great weather. I'm looking forward to some real cook-offs,
Yeah,
some Latino cook-offs.
exactly.
Okay, and so I look forward for the future also and seeing some great things happening from you all. Now, your volunteerism, you said that you cook X number of hours, 2 days basically.
Basically, yes.
2 days. I mean, that's a big commitment. And I obviously you didn't get paid for this, right?
No,
Okay.
I wasn't expecting
So-
to get paid anyway.
So this was
volunteer.
a big commitment, and for people to have that kind of commitment, I mean, banding together like this, people go a long way together. So my hats off to you for making it happen as well. The rest of the guys and girls that participated. But is there any one thing that really stood out in this event?
I think just seeing the whole community come together. You know, seeing the whole community come together and make a difference in Jessica's life and her mother's life. You know, it was a Saturday, and a lot of people said we were crazy because it was 90%
Well,
chance
you
of
are a
rain.
little bit crazy.
Yeah, you know. I think that's what sets me apart. But 90% chance of rain. Are y'all guys still gonna have this? Is it gonna be successful? Y'all gonna sell plates? And it's amazing the way God works. You know, as people were telling me it's 90% rain on the telephone, I was standing there and the sun started to beam through the clouds. And it seems like it rained everywhere else except for Jessica's fight that day.
You know what? That's great. I will tell you that Sambo has a very interesting story himself. Sambo grew up on the streets, the East End, the hood,
Yes, sir.
actually in the South Side too.
I know all the cantinas.
I mean, literally, he grew up on the streets, so he met a lot of people on the way, and he was very proud to say that. Well, I shouldn't say proud. I should say that he went through some rough times because he didn't go to school. He didn't have the guidance, if you will, until he met some folks that mentored him. And you went to what, the 8th grade?
Yes, sir.
8th grade?
8th grade.
Okay. And he went through the school of hard knocks, so he didn't go to high school. He learned from the streets, and a lot of folks helped him along the way. And I will tell you that I'm very proud of him for his accomplishments. You want to add to that?
It's just I can say it's an honor to be in the position I'm in right now. You know, to be able to help people. Of course, you know you were a speaker at Dede. I got kicked out of Dede school at 6th grade, and then now we're going back and we're supplying 1,200 kids with school supplies and school uniforms, clinic checkups. You know, stuff like we did with Jessica. We're opening up a food pantry on Broadway right before you get to Harrisburg. That's one of the things that my cook-offs are helping fund with Open Arms. So, you know, being able to go back, that's all it's about for me, you know. I could live in a shack for the rest of my life because I come from nothing. So, you know, I'm satisfied with life, just living. but to be able to make a difference in my community and for my people is what I'm here for, and I think that's my mission in life. And I can't do it by myself, so I applaud everybody who's with me on this journey, you know, to see where we go in the future. And I've been at the bottom, so the only place to go is up.
Well, that's a good point. Mark, now, what is the next venture for you guys as a cooking team?
Like I said, we keep it, you know, as family. We'll all be doing one at Rock River Barbecue Cook-Off, March 26th. And it's just to keep getting better at it. And like I said, we raise money also with whatever we win. It goes back, and whoever needs the help, we're there to be able to be prepared, you know, for whatever they need.
Okay.
As far as getting wood or donating meat or whatever we can donate. So that money goes back to that. It don't ever go to one person or the winner. If anybody wins, it comes right back to us. And then we donate that
Gotcha.
to whoever needs it. He needs help, we're there, and we're able to help out with that for the good cause.
Albert, what's next for you guys?
Well, we're actually hosting our first cook-off on March 7th at Shooters on Spencer Highway. It's going to be our first annual.
Shooters a bar?
Yeah, it's a bar. It's a Shooters Dance Hall and Saloon. It's a bar right off of Spencer Highway. It's actually right there. I believe is that Pasadena area. So, you know, we're trying to bring more events like that to that city, you know, and try to, you know, bring in like you said, the Latino cooking teams and anybody else that wants to get into it, you know. It's you know, just like you said, most of our proceeds that come back to us, you know, they end up going back into helping people out and doing what we can to give back to the community.
Great. Chris, what's your next venture?
My next venture is the cook-off Sam is
Galveston
having on
Road,
Galveston Road. I believe he said Jessica still needs more help.
Yeah.
So hey, if I have to cook for 3-4 days all week, I don't care, I'll do it. I don't drink, I don't smoke. Cooking is that's my adrenaline rush. So.
Not to change the subject, but are you an Earl Campbell fan?
Yes, sir.
Kind of figured. The hat kind of gave it away. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to let you know that the Oilers are not in Houston no more. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that, but still, when I was a
making
kid,
sure.
it was used to, you know, Love Your Blue Days.
It's always
so,
love
hear
you,
you.
Blue.
Yeah.
You know what? Do they still sell those hats like that? They do? I haven't really
I
paid
don't know.
attention.
I took this from my daughter's room.
Okay.
I think it was my son's. She took it from him. I seen it in her room, so I took it from her.
Okay.
I don't know what store it came from.
That's cool. Well, I appreciate you all coming out. And we'll have another show. I'm sure we'll invite you again whenever we have a major event and talk about all the good things you're doing. So any last minute comments?
I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to spread the good news,
Great.
the Latino cooking teams, and the difference we're making in the community.
All right. With that said, we're going to come back. We're going to talk to Miss Jessica Garcia in the next segment. And she has ovarian cancer. She's 13 years old. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 2 minutes. So be careful with your... back to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, and joined by our co-hosts, Javier Perez and Chris Ochoa. This is Houston. Our hosts have to deal with traffic just like everybody else. So guess what? They were late today.
No, I
Okay, you were
walked
here.
in with 5 seconds to spare.
Okay, you were here
Okay.
5 seconds before the show started.
I was a couple minutes late.
So he got put in timeout for 30 minutes. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest. We have Miss Jessica Garcia. She has ovarian cancer, 13 years old, okay? And the gentleman and the young lady that you saw earlier in the first segment had a fundraiser for her. And she is joined today by her cousin, Gabby Rogers. Thank you for joining us, Gabby. And her mother, Lisa. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Now, let's talk about your situation, okay? So, 13 years old, dealing with cancer. Not very many kids, compared to adults, have to deal with a situation like you're dealing with. Now, take us back and how you found out that you had cancer.
Well, it was at the beginning of December, and it was in the morning. I hadn't been feeling good, like pretty much a couple days before that, Monday or Tuesday. So I told my mom, and she was like, okay, well, I'll set up a doctor's appointment. So we went into the clinic, and they did like a regular checkup on me, and they were like feeling around my stomach, and they were like towards the left, bottom right, it was like a hard mass, and they were like, does it hurt? And I wasn't showing any symptoms or anything, so they told me to go to Galveston to get an ultrasound to see what it was, and it had turned out to be a tumor. So then they did a couple of other things, CT scan, an ultrasound, and then they ended up doing a biopsy and stuff. So that's whenever they found out it was a tumor, and then later on they had found out that it was ovarian cancer, stage 3 ovarian cancer. And
So what have the doctors told you about your cancer?
not really a lot. They just told me it's going away with the chemo, the tumor. It's shrinking really good. The day that I had went in, it was 20 centimeters, the size of a football, they said. And now it's already less than
You
half
have a
of that.
cancer growth the size of a football, literally, inside your little body.
Yeah.
Today.
No,
Oh,
it's,
When they first
went-
found it, right?
yes.
wow.
And it's gone down more than half of that now. Last appointment, it was 10 centimeters, and then I just recently got out of the hospital Saturday night. That was my 4th treatment of chemo, hopefully my last one. After this, I will go back on the 10th to the clinic again and talk to the doctors and stuff, and then they'll see about, I'll probably get another ultrasound and then talk about some surgery or what the next step is going to be.
That's amazing. You know, you're dealing with this like an adult. I mean, you're very mature for your age, obviously, but you have to have a support system. And you brought your cousin. I'm assuming your cousin is a big supporter of yours. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your role.
Well, I usually just hang out with her, because she can't go to school anymore.
So you're skipping school?
No,
How cool.
no, on the weekends and stuff.
Okay.
So we just hang out and stuff.
Did y'all go to the same school?
No, we went to different schools.
What,
How old
what
are
school
you,
did you go
Gabby?
to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm 14.
14.
What school did you go to?
Harvey Junior High.
Harvey
Junior High.
High. Okay. I don't
And
even know what that
Alvin.
is. Okay. And obviously, as the mother, I mean, I can just imagine all the emotions because of this, starting from the diagnosis and then the treatment and everything else that comes along with it. So how have you dealt with this?
Well, I got my sister that's helped me a lot through a lot of this. She's usually the main one that does the talking for me. I'm the emotional one. But,
It's okay to be emotional. I mean, you have every reason to be emotional.
But, we just take it day by day. God first and just take it from there.
What has been the treatment plan planned for, and what's still yet to come?
Well, like she said, she already completed her 4th chemo treatment. The next step is going in. They're going to reevaluate her, see if it's small. The tumor has shrunk small enough. If it has, then God willing, next step is surgery. They're going to try to remove it. And that's pretty much where we stand right now until the 10th. We have our next appointment. Then they'll set up for everything else, and then we'll find out. Hopefully by the week of the 16th, we'll find out some more information and see if we're good to go with surgery, or she might need 1 or 2 more rounds of chemo, and just kind of go from there.
Jessica, you're a brave, brave little girl. Like, I can only imagine, like, you're just like the heart of the family right now. I mean, you're just so vibrant. Oh yeah, I have cancer. Yeah, hopefully this will be my last treatment. That's so awesome. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you uplifted while you're going through this difficult time?
Right here. This is everything. Really, my cousin, she helps me a lot. I mean, like she said, she's always with me. She talks to me and just like listens to me when I need her to, and she's just there for me all the time.
Well, I will say, just stay positive. Stay positive. Be very positive, and everything will run its course, and you'll be cured. You just got to keep that focus and be positive. Don't focus on the negative. Just like I said, be positive.
Yeah, that's what everyone's mainly been telling me. Just keep my faith in God and don't think about the bad. Just focus on what's to come. And I know that I'm in God's hands right now. I'm in His heart all the time, and He's going to take care of me because I'm His child and He loves me with all His heart.
Awesome. What about your friends? Do you have friends that visit you from your junior high?
Not really. I had a couple of friends who were supposed to come, but they ended up not coming. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, it's always hard when you have kids involved, but I work at MD Anderson Cancer Center. So I see kids with cancer all the time, and it's never easy. It's never easy seeing kids, especially the babies, because, I mean, they're so tiny, you know, and they're dealing with cancer. But to have your mom here and your cousin there on the weekends, I'm sure you see her more than that. But, I mean, you got to have that support system. But when you're by yourself, when you're sitting at home and there's no one there, what are your thoughts?
Well, I normally try to keep myself busy. I don't really think too much about it. Like he was saying, I'm like, I have cancer. Like, it's something I got to go through. There's nothing I can do to change it. You know, God put this in my life for a reason, to help me and my family with obviously some life lessons and stuff we got to learn. I'm kind of glad this all happened because a little bit before it, God had led us back to the church, and then we found out this happened, and then I've been growing, and I'm still continuing to grow in my faith and in my walk with God, so I'm really glad. It made me a better person.
Impressive.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, very intelligent, Ben. She's a very intelligent girl. You mentioned church. Are you involved in any of the children's ministries, or do you play, sing, anything?
Well, we always sing like along with them. My cousin is actually in the band that plays at the church. He plays the drums with them, and we always sing along. They have the words on the screen. And I used to go on Wednesdays at night. They would have youth services, and there would be, like, for my little brother Jacob, they would have little classes for him, classes for junior high kids, and then classes for high school kids. So, and my cousin, the one who plays the drums, Eric, he was actually the teacher in my class, and I really liked it.
It's awesome.
So I know Javier and Chris, they're very, very active in the church. Obviously, you know more about the church than I do. Unfortunately, I don't go to church as often as I should. But
You're a heathen, man.
I'm a heathen?
You're a heathen.
But that strength from the church, obviously the church has a big part in her strength.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see the vibrance in
Yeah.
her right now, Ben. I mean, that it says something when you can really have the faith and believe. I mean, there's the scripture that does say if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And truly believe that it's very inspirational. I grew up in the church, and that was just something that even though as a little kid, you know, I was running around and not wanting to like sit down. And then as I grew older, you know, I started listening more, and you just kind of absorb the word, right? I mean, you absorb it, and you're surrounded by that church community. And so it's really awesome that you have not only your family as a foundational support, but you have your church community as well. So that's why I was asking about if you were involved in any ministry or singing, because I wanted to kind of relate to you there just from my
His family, they're into the ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, did he have his own church?
He did. My grandfather, my grandmother, they had their own church for, man, almost 40 years until my grandmother passed away. And when I was at the age of 9, my father said, hey, we're going to start this church band. We want you to play the keyboards. I'm like, all right, does that mean I get a keyboard? And I did. But then, you know, like most kids, you just kind of play something until you get bored of it. Well, that wasn't the case for me. I actually had to continue to play and practice. So, but, you know, it's done us a whole lot of good. And, you know, like I said, the faith is the most important thing, you know, having that faith and being positive.
Yeah, we would like to invite you at another show because we want to know about your progress. Going through all these treatments is not easy. And what kind of treatment are you taking right now? What is it that you're going through?
I only take chemotherapy.
Chemo, okay.
Is it through the pill form or is it through the radiation therapy?
No, well, it's chemotherapy, but it's an infusion. They put, like, it's a
Power port.
bottle cap type thing. It's metal. It's called a power port in me. And they, like, put the needle in and have all the wires hooked up and everything. So I'm there at the hospital for, like, every month, the whole week I go and get, for 5 days and get my chemo. 3 medicines the first day, and then the rest of the day it's just 2 medicines for the whole week.
So Jessica, you've been dealing this only since December. This when she was she was diagnosed.
Yes, sir.
It had to have been just such a blow to you. Yeah, you know, at least I could see the worry and the sadness in your eyes, and believe me, my heart goes out to you. But with God's help, I think she's going to be just fine. I think she's a powerful young lady.
Well, look at her enthusiasm about this whole situation.
She's awesome, man. She's a trooper.
What was it like for you, Lisa? I can only imagine the heartache you've gone through.
I mean, it's just the fact that your child's in pain, and you can't do nothing.
So do you have other kids that?
Oh yeah, I have a total of four children.
Okay, so where do you fall?
She's a third child.
The third child. Okay. So the little one is how old?
8.
8 years old. Okay. So what does he tell you when he sees you sick?
I love him with all my heart. He was just so kind, and he was just always saying, I hope you get better. And the other day he was actually telling me his school, he had went and he was telling all his friends that, like, about me and stuff, and that they're really, like, some of them, the little kids, say that they pray for me, which makes me feel happy and feel good about myself, and it just, I don't know, it just makes me so happy how much love he has for me.
Well, I tell you what, just listening to this story, it brings tears to my eyes. I don't know about you, but I will tell you, there's a lot of people that are watching here that are praying for you, and there's a lot of support. I mean, you look at all these people that are here in the audience. You have a lot of people behind you, so don't feel like you're by yourself. Okay.
And for me, Ben, I'm involved in an organization, and we've for the past 2 or 3 years have helped raise funds for specifically childhood cancer awareness and a portion of those funds we normally set aside for families. I'm going to get with our leadership to see what we can do to help you guys out. Obviously, it's a burden mentally, I'm sure physically, there's long nights, but financially as well. And so I'd like for you guys to get back with me.
Chris, you're talking about Golden Hearts.
Golden Hearts. Yeah. Golden Hearts, yeah.
With Danita.
With Danita, that's correct.
Yeah.
Now,
So, I'll need to get with some leadership, but I mean, I don't think it'll be an issue at all to see if we can set something up for you guys to raise some funds.
Lisa, what has the family's hearts has been financially going through this with your daughter?
Well, once this happened, what we thought would be maybe painting her room, fixing her little things, turned it into us basically having to redo our whole trailer house. She stays with my sister. I can't have her at our house till we get everything completed and done. We had bought a trailer, and basically what the guy did was just put sheetrock up. So once my brother-in-law went in to evaluate everything, there was mold. So we have to tear out everything at the whole house. So it's just the fact of getting the house back in order. And you just be able to, have my family back home. My sister's been a great help. Sam's been an awesome help.
and who's your sister, by the way?
Her name's Eleanor.
Eleanor's here?
Yeah.
Eleanor's here. Well, thank you for joining us, Eleanor.
Yeah, she's been my backbone. She's my everything. And she helps me with my kids.
So
It's just I'm not used to having to, it changed a lot.
So, have the doctors said how this happened, or they have no clue how this happened?
They don't know. She just said it was just when we figured out how big it was. I was like, so you mean to tell me this has been growing over a period of time? They said no, it's actually a fast growing type of cancer. And then ovarian cancer doesn't run in our family, so they don't know what caused it.
Now, do you have any family members that have cancer? Immediate family?
I did lose my brother John, Dr. John Pettis.
Oh, that's right. Your brother.
At 55, he died of a brain tumor, and my mother died at 78 of colon cancer. So I know how hard and it is, and what she's going through, and when we both found out about their prognosis, it wasn't good. It was stage 4 when they both were diagnosed. So, I'm glad to hear that she's stage 3 and she can still go through a lot of treatment. And I know with the grace of God, you're going to be okay, Jessica. You really are.
Just the mere fact that you don't have that growth anymore inside you. I mean,
it's tremendous.
Obviously. So they think it's shrinking, right? So, could you feel that weight? Could you feel that tumor?
Not really, because I have been kind of on the big side for my life, and then I started being like a little more active and like cutting out all the sugary drinks, the bad food and stuff.
All the good stuff.
Horrible stuff.
And so I had started losing the weight, and then I wasn't feeling good, so whenever, I'm glad I actually lost the weight, because if I didn't, they probably wouldn't have even been able to feel the tumor, so I'm really grateful that I decided to change my ways in my life.
But you know what? Once you get used to not having all the sweets and all the good stuff,
yes,
it doesn't bother you. It takes a little while to get used to it. But for me, I have to have my sweets, but I know if my health depended on it, I would stop. Sambo, that's a message for you, brother.
Just getting back to the whole food, it wasn't until recently that my wife and I really decided to stop and cut out all of the genetically modified food that we take inside our bodies. And I think the FDA came out with a report that it was somewhere in the high 70s that 70% or more, I can't get the quite number, but contained carcinogens that would lead to cancer. Yeah, and really, it's so important to eat healthy and to really cut that out of your out of your daily diet, sugars, anything that's artificial with sweeteners, any genetically modified organisms, that's something that is altered. It's not necessarily food that is just, grass-fed or untouched. So, for me, I think it's a bold stance to definitely take, and, I recommend to try to do it. And obviously, it costs more money, but I look at it in terms of what will it cost you later on in life? Will it cost you your medical bills? Will it cost you yours or your family's life? So it's very good that you were able to start eating healthy and they were able to find that. So continue your fight, Jessica. You're awesome. You're amazing. Always look at the positive again, which you don't have any problem doing.
I'd like to ask Gabrielle. Gabrielle, were you two close before she got sick?
Yes, very close.
So what went through your mind when you heard what was happening to her?
I don't know. I was just like confused, really, like why it happened to her, because she's like so nice and she's like always so giving and helpful. So I was just like confused what happened to her.
Had you heard about cancer before? Had you had any family members that had been any experience to that?
I don't think so.
We're younger. Both of my grandmothers passed away from stomach cancer. I had an uncle who passed away from colon cancer. So we've gone through that, but they were younger, so they didn't really get to.
So
I'd like to. I'm sorry, sweetheart. What did you decide to do when you heard what her diagnosis was?
I don't know. I just like try to be as positive as I could, and like try not and cry in front of her, like try and be strong for her. So like she wouldn't think that it was that bad. Like she was gonna be okay.
Sweetie, I know you're doing the best job you can, and I know just you being there for her has to mean the world to her.
I'm going to ask the audience to do something, because I think it's important that the viewers see your support mechanism. I'm going to ask all of you to come behind us so that you can be part of the show. Just walk back this way. As they're walking back this way, I will tell you that this story is very encouraging to me, because I see a great family coming together with family and friends and making a difference in your life. Obviously, you have a different attitude now about cancer. You've learned a lot in the last couple of months. And so it's important that our youth understand the dilemmas of cancer, yes, and the effects of cancer. Now, I think you can see almost everybody. I think everybody's on the television screen. Now, some folks came in late, so they were not able to be part of the show. There goes the Houston traffic again. But for those of you that were not here initially for the first show, for the first segment of the show, raise your hand real quick. Okay, what was your name, sir?
Edward.
Edward?
Maria.
Maria?
Pedro.
The mariachi, Pedro's here. Anybody else? So they also participated in the rodeo, in the cook-off?
We helped out.
Okay, great.
And if I'm not mistaken, Ben, there's another event. I don't know if you've mentioned it or not. There's something else for a fundraiser for Jessica. Is that correct? Or was that the one?
Yes.
We have an online campaign with can I say GoFundMe on there?
So they have an online campaign with GoFundMe / Jessica 13.
What we'll do is we'll share it on our Facebook page, LatinoTalkTV.com, or Latino Talk TV. So Facebook.com / Latino Talk TV, and then we'll get that out there and publicize it for sure.
We need to get Rita Gallegos, the president of Golden Hearts, involved in this.
Yes, Rita.
And Rita Ochoa.
David Bustillos. Calling on all my Golden Heart soldiers. Stephanie.
Definitely.
Let's come together and let's do something.
Let's get them all. Let's do something for the young lady. We'll go ahead and have it at TVA.
Absolutely.
So you got the place already, guys. So we need to just get all the soldiers on the march.
To fall in line, right?
Fall in line. Let's get this done. Let's help this young lady out.
Absolutely.
Because I tell you, I think this young lady's going to do some great things in her lifetime. And we certainly want it to be a long and illustrious, prosperous life.
I'm going to put the mariachis on the spot here. We got a mariachi
Me?
here.
Oh, hey,
We
just
got
chill
a
down.
mariachi
Talk about
here.
me, baby. All right.
You ready to do a tune? All right, I'll do it. No, I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed the show. I think you guys have enjoyed it as well. I know you were a bit nervous at first, but it's just like a regular conversation, right? We're having fun, and thank y'all so much for coming out. And hopefully you can go back to school real soon. Do you miss school?
Yes.
Yeah. So are you homeschooled now, or how's that working out for you?
Well, it's something called homebound. It's kind of like homeschooling. They come like twice a week. A lady comes and brings me like worksheets that I work on, and she stays for like maybe an hour and helps me with if I need it or not.
Jessica, what about the STAR test? I know that testing is coming up. Are you required to take that as well?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she didn't get out of that.
Yeah, she ain't getting out of that.
I don't know how we're gonna do that yet. I think I'm probably gonna have to go up to the school and do it, but they're probably might have me in an isolated room or something.
Well, best of luck with that.
Lisa, and God bless you. And I know you've probably heard it before, but the Lord don't give you nothing you can't handle.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And that's why He gave you the family He gave you to support you. So, amen, and we'll be praying for you.
I just want to thank Sam, all my family, all the cookers that were out there cooking, and everybody who took time out to.
So you
Tell my-
inherited these guys, huh?
Yeah,
Hey, we all family now.
you were all family now.
Awesome. That's usually how it goes.
So don't be
Definitely.
surprised when you wake up in the morning, we're out there grilling fajitas.
I just stick my hand out with a tortilla.
Drinking a few cold ones. We're helping.
Okay, the GoFundMe account one more time, Sambo.
It's on GoFundMe.com/Jessica13.
GoFundMe.com/Jessica13.
Got it? All right, well, we've run out of time. Now, we are here at the Houston Media Source. It's east of Houston. If you would like to participate in our show, we're live every Monday night at 6 p.m. Feel free to come out and join us. So we'll see you next week. Till then, bye.